I'm on a quest to get every single Final Fantasy XIV trophy. This is going to take thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours to do, and I don't have time for that. So I have given myself 2 years, or 730 days. There's no time like the present, so let's get on with it. Alright, it's day 10, and after the Space Pope has been defeated, I'm walking around talking to people and killing random mobs because apparently I have nothing better to do plot-wise. I also got some pretty sweet equipment upgrades thanks to Rowena. And on top of that, I also rescue some more hostages from a previous dungeon that's now a single player duty. Wow, how original. And that's it for 3.1, and the As Goes Light, So Does Darkness trophy pops. Eventually, though, Post-Heavensward gets its act together and it's time for the first dungeon, the Anti-Tower. Man, I hope the Anti-Tower never meets a tower, because if they come together, bad things are going to happen. Like a serial Tinder user, this has lots of single pools to begin with. And first up, it's Toady McToadface. Lots of water, lots of frogs, lots of, well, nothing else, to be honest. I didn't really feel threatened at any time. After that nice, gentle introduction, it's time to get ziggy with it. I actually failed the targeting mechanic. I thought it was a tether mechanic. I'm slightly embarrassed by that, but whatever. I'm not too bothered about it. I wasn't punished too badly, and I'm not going to make that mistake again anyway. Far too many mobs later, and oh my god, it's Calcabrina. Wait, what the f is that? I was so spooked that I failed the stair mechanic because it was slightly different than previous versions of this mechanic, and my Ooga Booga brain just couldn't handle the subtlety. Once again though, I wasn't going to make that mistake twice, and as a team we managed to burn down the dollhouse in the end. It was a pretty short day 10 because I have other things in my life going on, and it's time for day 11. You remember that field test level in Fire Emblem Three Houses near the beginning of the game? Yeah, well, Post-Heavensward has a version of that as well, except it's incredibly more boring. And it's in the snowfield. That's the end of 3.2, and with it, the Gears of Change trophy magically appears in my trophy cabinet. It's straight onto Sorkai. Sorkai? I think that's how you say it. The dungeon starts with a big fat pull that showed that my tank was not messing around and wanted to get this done ASAP. Then it was Moogle time again. I'm just saying, Moogles aren't depicted as warriors in most Final Fantasy games for a damn good reason. Then it's time for Ishgardian Ponyta, which is electric flying apparently. Or maybe it's Rapidash. I don't know. Call this fight MGMT, it's trying to give me an electric feel. And call this fight EASY whilst you're at it. Finally, it's time for Hraesvelga, aka the Shiva Shagger. Now, as I'm sure you know, this used to be a bit different, and the rest of the party was reminiscing about the good old days while we were fighting the new version. And honestly, I never fought the old version, so I got to feel pretty young, which is quite rare when you hit 34, nearly 35. Anyways, this fight is really simple. Remember, highly telegraphed glowy things are bad. To be fair, that could actually sum up every boss fight in this game so far. But wait, there's more. It's the final steps of faith. It's time to take down Nidhogg, but before that, I've got to twiddle my thumbs for a bit because this queue took 35 minutes at 9 AM in the morning. Eventually though, I did get in. Step 1, don't get hit by some basic mechanics. Step 2, ads appear. As a party, we didn't really handle this bit well, but no one died, which is the important thing, I guess. Step 3, lasers of doom and puddles of moderate despair. Also, pulsating markers of mild inconvenience. Step 4, Nidhogg evolves into Fire Nidhogg. Ooh. And this is where I dropped DPS and focused on self-survival and trying to heal the party so we didn't get wiped. The other healer unfortunately went down, and I took a bit too long to revive them because I was too busy trying to not die myself. However, we did grind it out in the end on the first try. And thus ended the Dragon Song War, and I got revenge of the Horde. Post-Heavensward is not done though, because we have to set up for the next expansion, and it's time to pay a visit to Self-Atoll. I think that's how you say it. This has not been a good video for the pronunciation police. Rocks fall, nobody dies. The first boss is a flightless flying bird. No, me neither. Lots of ads, lots of jumping in the air, lots of kicking chicken butt. Next up is a boss that was an absolute joke, like why did the chicken cross the road levels. I just stand by a barrier and make sure no one dies. Finally, it's whoever this guy is supposed to be. And he also keeps summoning a really weak version of Garuda, like Pidgey levels. And he seems to only have one ability, which is various levels of XIV Aero. Eventually though, we kill him off and the bird is no longer the word. For some reason, I also have to do the naval hard again. I'm not explaining this one. Go watch my Post-Heavensward Reborn video if you're really wanting to know what I think of this. And then it's an instance where I take down the Warriors of Shite. Sorry, I mean Warriors of Darkness. This one's more annoying than difficult, but I have to say it's nice to do single player content that has some boss mechanics and actually makes me use my brain every now and again. Also, I definitely didn't fail this on the first attempt because I forgot to put my equipment back on. No siree. And that's the end of 3.4, and Soul Surrender is mine. The final multiplayer duty is here in the form of Baelsar's Wall. The first pull had me lagging like a mofo. Let's not talk about that. Let's focus instead on the first boss, which is a mech and his mechanical buddies. There were lots of annoying missiles that kept on halving everyone's HP, but it was nothing that I as a healer couldn't keep up with. Oh yeah, and I got the Art of War 3 after that fight. After lots of conveyor belt shenanigans, it was time for the second boss, which starts with a fun game of red light, green light, but instead of being shot, you just get launched into the air. This and the disco mechanics that appeared in later phases meant that this was pretty easy and it was more annoying than difficult, a theme that's come up quite a bit in this video. And then finally, this Johnny Random that I definitely don't know anything about because I've been skipping cutscenes. The only things we really needed to worry about are the flaming swords, which are trivial if you know what to do and just kill the middle one, and the anti-healer mechanic, which the party definitely dealt with on the first attempt. For sure. Okay, second time around though, we really nailed it, and down went Ilbert, I mean totally random stranger. My reward for finishing the final duty was the Far Edge of Fate Part 1. With that out of the way, it was time to battle against Greenwatt. Honestly, not much to say, other than that piloting a mech is still super cool, and we should get to do that more often. And the three characters here are the best in the next expansion. I will not elaborate further. And that's it. I get the Far Edge of Fate Part 2, the 20th trophy of the run. Next up, Stormblood. But that, my friends, is a story for another day.